Mechabot, Mechanize! Mecha Roller! 마음 열면 보일 거야. 꿈은 이루어질 거야. 우리가 함께는
Shadow plays, also known as wayang kulit, are considered to be one of the earliest forms of animation in Malaysia. Wayang kulit was the source of inspiration for the adventures of Prince Agnes in an animated film created by Lot Reiniger, a German animator. On the other hand, animation in Malaysia did not get its official start until after the Malayan film unit was founded. The initial run was produced exclusively for use in government documentaries and commercials. Ananda Muzafir, a set designer by trade who also had training in animation, oversaw the production of the first short animated film in 1963. The film was titled Hikayat Sang Kancil. Both film arts in 1984 and Lensamation in 1987, which were commercial animation companies that opened around this time, were responsible for the education and development of a large number of animators. Lensamation were responsible for the post-animation work on a number of Japanese animations. The titles of live action features films start including animated sequences, and animation was used throughout the movie. At the moment, each and every animation is complete by hand. Then the adventures begins. Upin and Ipin, Bola Kampung, Boboiboy, and Agent Ali are just a few of the many Malaysia animated films and series that have achieved international success. Malaysian animation is currently the most popular and biggest in the ASEAN market, beating out competition from Japan and the West. In the addition, Upin and Ipin Kris Siamang Tunggal the movie made Malaysia the first ASEAN nation to have an animated film nominated for an Academy Award. This demonstrated Malaysia's readiness to take on animation powerhouse like Japan and the United States. The main purpose of this research was to identify the specific elements of the Mechamato and Boboiboy brand that contribute to its soft power. In addition, it is important to know how the Malaysian economy works in relation to other regional occurrences. Furthermore, the goal is to learn more about the challenges of promoting Mechamato and Boboiboy's animated series in countries outside of Japan.
Why it is necessary to promote Mechamato and Boboiboy as soft power. Mechamato and Boboiboy can be used as a tool to promote and spread Malaysian culture and beauty. The people of Malaysia came from a variety of ethnicities, faiths, cultures, and tradition. The concept of culture describes integrated and universal human behavior patterns such as cognition, speech, action, and artifacts. In terms of the surrounding language and social value of Malaysia, Boboiboy and Mechamato are well recognized as their representation. International acceptance and recognition of local animation made with a Malaysian culture element has been established. A superhero team anime called Boboiboy places a strong emphasis on a friendship and teamwork in its narrative. Since children are more inclined to emulate peers than adult models, casting a youngster as the lead character rather than an adult is a crucial move for the local business. Additionally, the film Boboiboy featured the idea of one Malaysia. There are Malay characters, Chinese characters, Indian characters, and all of these characters harmoniously complement one another. Everything is centered on Malaysia culture, Malaysia multicultural population, Malaysia identity, and Malaysia friends steadfast loyalty. By constantly exposing viewers to the same or similar culture, sign and symbol, and by employing children's character, the media is intended to support the transfer of cultural legacy to future generation and convince young viewers to defend Malaysia's society, culture, and basic values. In the Mechamato movie, the architecture of Bandar Hili and Kota Melaka serve as inspiration for the major location of this movie, Kota Hili. The iconic Desta, keris, tricycle and curry pub were just a few of the traditional aspects that Monster used in an effort to make the world audience fall in love with Malaysia's distinctiveness. At first glance, the film seems to be set in a future metropolis free of Malaysian influences, yet subsequent reveal a striking similarity to Bandar Hili and Jonker Street. The cityscape of Kota Hili has the well-known Baba Nyonya architecture of Melaka, post-colonial brick street and vibrant rickshaw which are often stationed in the front of the Joker Bridge with a loud feng shui music playing. With a flying robots and motorized rickshaw, the movie truly transports us around the street of Malacca as we watch in astonishment. Additionally, as a tool to strengthen Malaysia's economy and international ties, Malaysia is one of the most well-known animation industry in the Asian area. Yaya, a character in a Boboiboy, will serve as a Muslim-friendly tourist emblem in the Japanese area. According to recent announcement made by the owner of Monster, the Malaysian animation company responsible for Boboiboy, Mechamato, and other popular animated series. The famous 3D cartoon series Boboiboy will now be available in China and India. The cartoon by Mechamato and Boboiboy are audience friendly. The common belief that cartoons are solely appropriate for children has been disproved by the appearance of Boboiboy and Mechamato. Three things make up a country's soft power, which is its culture, its political principle, and its foreign policy, which is when other people see it as a morally and legally correct. Customer-friendly cartoon film like Boboiboy and Mechamato may demonstrate to foreigners the moral standards of Malaysia. The dialogue in the Mechamato and Boboiboy is a very kind and refined. The character of Boboiboy and Mechamato speak in a polite and decent manners. This might demonstrate the concerns Malaysians have for a social grace.
The Malaysia's soft power opt to preserve the status quo of their genesis, rooted local norms and ethics, profound unique impact towards Malaysia heritage. Animation in Malaysia described as emerging states that reconcile the soft power tools predominant to national identity and promotional branding. The economy alludes creative expansion in positioning affirmative role on globalization. The digital era proves culture developed the domestic industry by allegory and science proclaiming fundamental sentiments. The contemporary times allows Malaysia cultural characteristic develop its technique and encourage wider scope of segmentation in the animation itself, where draw inspiration from the United States and Japan major creative industry. Within the capability, Malaysia divulged soft power strategy as Boboiboy and Mechamato exports cascade cultural and digital diplomacy adapting Malaysian cultural uniqueness. Malaysia necessitates digitalized method as a consequences to the product of domestic culture. The Japanese culture, for example, represents hybrid elements in nationwide pride. The country formed as an illusory society, or called as Japanese pop, J-pop culture, was crafted as a national product, not solely by citizens inside the nation states, besides by publics from abroad. Consequently, Japanese market inspired Malaysia to apply such ingesting practice and skills regarded as a whole, assembling interest of enhancing national typical product. Malaysia incipient industry leaped forward to build the name of animation production powerhouse subsequent to the United States, Japan, and France as topmost reputable animation center. Henceforth, it is enlightened the development and exporting of authentic intellectual property IP is a concise indicator that Malaysia animation sector, like the rest of the region, stays improving and centralized contented succession. On another action, Japanese culture shaped Malaysia influence through anime manga. The influence signifies as national product of certain cultural branding. The economic model of Japan nurtured the market discourse and target in familiarizing the cultural circulation, disseminate of popular cultural products in raising the standards of exporting to East Asia. This resonates the policymakers along with technical workers, skills and talents to sightsee for state intercession in developing creative industry areas, in excelling Japanese-style adoption. For example, JoJo's Bizarre Adventures, shifting the point of anime industry and known to overflow robust orientation for pop culture around the world. Adash highlighted followers as well as certain fashionistas adore Araki's design for the franchise figures. The painting style draws locus from Paul Gauguin color variation, Western pop culture, and culture. Therefore, Boboiboy and Mechamato comprehensively essential to improvise its Malay references, striking contemporary art styles, nurture unremitting story, and invoke magnificent theme songs that fit the animation franchise, consolidate the prototypical sense of JoJo Bizarre Adventures inspired animation. It is valuable to refer the appellation of soft power interlinked to Malaysia cultural influence, drawing the succession from small step into another facet of international promotion. Via creative and related online events, as well as visits to foreign marketplace and exhibition, MDEC integrates Malaysian artists and companies with worldwide customers and partners. Marcus highlighted, in less than 2 years, from 2020 until 2022, the Animonsta team accomplished a whole season of 26 Mechamato episodes, corresponding to one season coupled with the newly launched Mechamato film.
Pastikan terjang, biar ia bawa kau pergi.
The hindrances and challenges in promoting Mechamato and Boboiboy abroad. Indeed, Mechamato and Boboiboy has so much potential and quality to excel in international markets and compete with other kids' animation movies. However, as a newly growing industry, Mechamato and Boboiboy must be encountered some hindrances and challenges in the process. Malaysia's animation industry is categorized as new and is not yet widely known to the global audience. This industry has a relatively small and fragmented market, which presents a challenge for the government in its efforts to promote the industry as an innovative sector with significant economic potential. Mechamato and Boboiboy is rich with elements of Malaysian heritage. This is a great potential to promote the culture of Malaysia abroad. However, to survive in the total different cultural atmosphere as what's served in the content, the cultural relevance of an entertainment instrument should relate to how well it matches with the cultural values, habits, and preference of the intended audience. It is also very important to think about cultural sensitivity and to make sure that the tool does not contain anything that could be considered offensive or insensitive. Another challenge is competing with already massive animation industry from nations such as Japan, South Korea, and United States. Most animation from these nations already have a loyal audience and fan base. It will require a more deliberate marketing campaign to get the attention of these animation enthusiasts, as they typically gravitate toward similar content. To overcome these challenges, it can be done by localization. Localization can involve in the translation of the user interface, instructions, and any other text into the target language. It may also involve adapting visuals, audio, and video content to the target market's cultural norms. In a nutshell, the content must be adapted to be relevant to the target audience. Although it is challenging, entering global markets is not completely impossible. However, it will surely need a significant amount of effort, commitment, and long-term vision to gain it and establish a strong reputation for Mechamato and Boboiboy abroad.
Beranikan diri saja.
In conclusion, the animation of Malaysia has always had a strong representation on the country's many different ethnic groups, with an emphasis on unity and harmony. The soft power that Malaysia possesses allows it to maintain the status quo of its origins, which includes deeply established local norms and ethics that have a profound and unique impact on Malaysian history. A society that is multicultural or plural can be seen to be reflected in the way that culture and animation are woven together. Animation in Malaysia can be described as a developing state that has found a way to reconcile the soft power instruments that are predominant with national identity and commercial branding. Animal Studios Sendirian Berhad is a company that has produced a significant amount of creative content for the market in Malaysia as well as the market internationally. Audience in Malaysia and in neighboring nations, especially Indonesia, have shown a praise and enthusiasm for Mechamato and Boboiboy. The video has served as a wonderful representation of Malaysian culture, inspiring pride among native viewers and providing an educational window to the world for those far removed from the country's history and customs. Mechamato and Boboiboy still have a long way to go before they are widely known outside of Southeast Asia.